Hi guys, welcome again to your own YouTube channel Ask Your Gynecologist. I'm Dr. Sonal Parihar. Well, in this lockdown period, I wish you all are staying at home. You all are paying attention to the doctors who are telling you not to go out unnecessarily. Wear your mask, always use sanitizer, keep washing your hands, stay safe, stay healthy. And I'm trying to make as many videos as possible so that you all are busy watching the videos, you don't get bored, and you get maximum knowledge of whatever topic you want. Today's topic we are going to discuss is umbilical cord. That is the cord which connects the baby and the mother, and this is the cord which needs to be cut once the baby is delivered so that the baby and the mother they get separated. So this is called umbilical cord, and we are going to discuss how important it is for the baby and how it transfers all the nutrients and oxygen to the baby, and what are the conditions in which this umbilical cord gets compressed and that becomes dangerous to the baby. Now, before I continue, let me just thank you for the number of subscriptions. We are already reaching 1 million, and there are 3 ways to contact me. Right now in the lockdown period, you people are really stressing on online consultations, and even in India now it is legal. So I'm on DocWise app for the last 1.5 years. The number of patients have drastically increased because they are obviously looking for some doctor online. So download it from your mobile's Play Store. It's a very easy download, and then you insert my pin, you get connected with me. Calling option is probably not working for the last couple of months, but otherwise everything else is working. So it's a wonderful app. Second thing is, whenever I go online, I go live on this channel and the other channel, Dr. Sonal's Answers. You can use the super chat option and you can get your answer there and then. Third way, you can do it after the lockdown finishes. That is the best way to consult me. You come to my hospital. Many patients are doing that, but of course after the lockdown finishes. So stay home and stay safe. Let me come to the topic umbilical cord. Umbilical cord, as I said, is the structure, the long rope-like structure which connects the placenta, that is the mother's blood supply, to the baby, and it transfers oxygen as well as nutrients to the baby. Now there are 3 vessels in the cord which we will not discuss in details because this video I have already made before, that it contains 3 vessels. There are arteries and there are veins. So basically the vein, it gives nutrients and oxygen from the mother to the baby, and the the deoxygenated blood and the wastes from the baby's body go through the arteries to the mother. This is how the baby excretes its waste through the arteries. Now, there are different conditions in which this umbilical cord gets compressed, and that becomes dangerous to the baby because it is the baby, when it's inside the uterus, it's not breathing. It's not like a baby or an adult who is outside and who is breathing, because for us, our trachea, our breathing system, everything is here in the neck. So if somebody strangulates us, we die. The baby's lungs, the baby's entire life is dependent on the umbilical cord. So if the umbilical cord gets compressed, the baby gets asphyxiated, the baby gets less of oxygen, less of nutrients, and that leads to detrimental effects on the baby. Now the different conditions are, first of all, if there is reduced liquor inside the uterus. If there is reduced liquor, then the baby and the uterus, they are kind of together. There is no cushioning of the liquor in between. So in that case, the umbilical cord gets compressed. So you must have noticed whenever you are diagnosed with oligohydramnios, that is when the liquor is less, your doctor tells you that your baby is not growing well because it is not getting enough nutrients. That's because the umbilical cord is getting compressed. That is the reason why the doctor will put you on Doppler studies and probably will advise you an early delivery, because they are scared that the baby might have detrimental effects or might die inside the uterus. Right? So this is one condition, when the liquor is less. Second condition is when by chance your cord travels in the vagina into the birth canal and travels along with the presenting part. It can be head, it can be hand, it can be foot, it can be breech. So if the cord travels along with the presenting part, that's called cord presentation. Now why is it dangerous? Because the cord gets compressed with the baby's part which is coming down. So when the cord gets compressed, obviously the oxygen and the nutrients coming to the baby are lost, and that leads to fetal distress. That's called cord presentation. And just imagine if the membrane ruptures and the waters break. If the waters break, this cord comes out of the cervix, the birth canal, lies in the vagina, or sometimes even comes out of the vagina. And that is the dangerous condition. That is the alarming situation, because in that case, the gynecologist will just rush you to the theatre, because the cord, first of all, it is getting compressed with the baby's parts, or if it comes out of that cushioning effect of the amniotic fluid, the membrane is ruptured. If it comes in contact with air into the vagina or outside, it contracts. The vessels inside will contract, and this contraction will suddenly cut off the blood supply to the baby. the oxygen and the blood supply is gone, so then you have to be delivered within 10 to 20 minutes by cesarean. And in that case, it really depends which hospital you are in, how long they take to transfer you, because it takes time. They have to call up the anesthetist, they have to manage everything, every drug has to be, because they have to anesthetize you, and that takes time. So sometimes your vagina is sometimes packed with some gauze pieces, or even with the hand of the midwife, that probably it might just prevent your cord coming out and coming in contact with air. So that is an alarming situation, and your doctor would tell you definitely before the delivery that we are trying our best, but we cannot guarantee any detrimental effects to the baby's brain, or we cannot even guarantee that the baby will be delivered live. Okay, so that is again a very, very dangerous condition. Third condition which we are going to discuss today, very commonly seen, is nuchal cord. Nuchal cord means, nuchal means the neck. So whenever the cord is around the baby's neck, that's called a nuchal cord. Now it can be a single loop, it can be a double loop, it can be 3 or 4 loops. So that depends. There are 3-4 factors which lead to this nuchal cord, or cord wrapping around the baby's any part. It can be around the wrist, it can be around the ankle, it can be around the baby's body. But as I tell you, it is nature. It is nature that tells the baby how to come out of that loop. So basically it's a swimming pool inside. The uterus is full of fluid and the baby is growing. So the uterus also grows with it. So till the baby becomes around 36 weeks, that is towards the end of the 9th month, it is small enough to keep somersaulting inside the uterus. So cord also moves with it, and the baby gets wrapped and then unwrapped and then wrapped and then unwrapped. So the baby knows how to come out of that loop. So it is nature. You really can't do anything about it. If the cord is very long, if the baby is very active, moving around a lot, if there is too much fluid for the baby to move around, because if fluid is less, then obviously the baby will get trapped. If there is too much fluid, the baby will keep on moving. These 3 factors will lead to these are the 3 risk factors which will cause cord wrapping around the baby's body parts. Okay. Now there is a 4th factor, which is a thin cord. That means the cord is not fat enough. It does not have that Wharton's jelly, which is normally the content of the cord, which keeps the 3 vessels separated and under the cushioning effect. So if the Wharton's jelly is less, then the cord obviously will get compressed once it wraps around the neck or the hand. So whatever happens, if the cord gets compressed, then obviously the blood supply, the oxygen and the nutrients will cut off. So these are the 4 factors which can lead to detrimental effects to the baby, and which can lead to cord wrapping around the neck or around any body part. Now these are the things which you cannot prevent, because this is nature. How can you prevent excessive fluid? How can you prevent excessive length of the cord? How can you prevent your baby not moving? Might be an active baby. And how can you prevent, or how can you guarantee that your cord will be thick? It might be thin, it might be thick, the placenta forms on its own. So it is just your luck. This is nature. Now, first of all, it's not that dangerous as it sounds. It is very common. I would say 3 out of 10, 3 to 4 kids out of 10 will have a nuchal cord. Now, because the sonography is increasing these days, the number of diagnostic mortalities are increasing. People keep going to the doctor. They keep changing their doctors. Doctors also keep advising sonographies. Sometimes it's a high-risk pregnancy. You keep on doing sonographies. So the number of sonographies, if they keep on detecting nuchal cord, then it becomes a big problem. Okay, because that adds on to your anxiety, and that adds on to the problem of the doctor to explain it to you and guarantee that nothing is going to happen, because there is no guarantee. If you actually look at the statistics, it is just 0.6%, that is 6 out of 1,000 babies might die because of this. This 6 out of 1,000 is the figure which has been given, that these children, they are born dead because of the nuchal cord. But of course, this is generally because probably it was undiagnosed, right? Because if it is diagnosed, the doctor will be more careful that if the baby's heart rate is dropping while the patient is in labor, then obviously they know that the cord is getting tight, and then they will immediately shift the baby, the mother, to the operating theatre. Now, not just death, there may be other problems as well, like cutting off oxygen to the brain will cause damage to the brain, which is also known as HIE, hypoxic ischemic encephalopathy. Now there are different stages, 1, 2, 3, HIE 1, 2, 3, 2 and 3 are dangerous, 1 recovers very soon. And because of this detrimental effect, sometimes the baby might develop cerebral palsy, mental disorders, mental retardation, developmental delays. This is all something, I think it is just by luck. Sometimes it may be negligence of the patient or the doctor, sometimes very rarely. But then These are the things which you cannot suspect before delivery, right? So if you walk into the hospital and you're absolutely normal and your nuchal cord is showing up in the sonography, what will the doctor do? Well, if you come to my opinion, if you come to my clinic, I will weigh the consequences. Nuchal cord is not an indication for cesarean because it is just 0.6% chance of the baby not surviving. Okay, very less chances of baby having any cerebral problem as well. So what I will do is I will examine you. If you're not dilating, your baby is high up, you're towards the end of your 9th month, your Doppler studies is done and it is showing some hypoxia, some kind of oxygen deficiency, and you're a big lady with a big baby. So all the things have to be weighed, and if I feel that there are less chances of you getting a normal delivery, then I would recommend a cesarean, especially if there are more than 2 loops around the neck. For 1 or 2 loops, I would not bother, because I know that once you are in labor, I can easily by CTG diagnose that you are going under fetal distress, the baby is not coming down or the cord is getting tight. Because once the cord is around the baby's neck and it is kind of going down into the vagina, it might pull the cord with it. In that case, the cord becomes tight. But generally what happens is, most of the babies who are born with the cord, when we see the baby, they're coming out, we just cut the cord and the baby's out. That's it. Because the cord is long enough for the baby, it lets the baby to go down. It kind of loosens up and the baby knows how to do it. I don't know how nature does it, but it normally happens. So as I said, it's very, very rare that the baby might die because of this. And if the baby is under monitor, if it's a good hospital where routine deliveries and pediatricians and gynecologists are aware, they will have all the machinery, they will have everything ready, normal delivery theatre, operation theatre. So anything happens, within 15 minutes you have a cesarean. It is only for the undiagnosed cases. I've seen patients coming from the villages in which they don't know, they were not diagnosed, and the baby, they just come in the 2nd stage of labor, and then in that case the baby is in a very bad condition and the cord is there. The baby has already passed meconium. Certain cases they can become very, very complicated because of, I would say, patient's neglect, you can say, or maybe lack of facilities. They are not diagnosed. So there are 2 basically extremes of everything. One is totally neglected case in which complications are bound to occur, and the other one is absolutely fine case but over anxiety, getting too much diagnosis, changing doctors again and again, the same report is coming and they're too much worried. So leave it on the doctor, go to a proper doctor, go to a trained gynecologist who knows how to deal with the situation, and depending upon the situation, you might be offered a cesarean or you might be offered a normal delivery. Just be careful, you have the baby inside you, the mother is the best judge. If you feel that the baby is not moving the way it should be moving, there's a difference between kicking, a live baby kicks, and a dead baby just sways around. So that sounds very awful, but that has happened. I've seen babies dead inside for 10-15 days and the mother is saying that baby is still moving. It is not moving, it's a dead body rolling inside. So you should know once the active baby is kicking and the difference between a dead baby, or if the baby is just kind of getting compromised, you will know, as an intelligent mother, you will know that the baby is not moving so actively as it used to be. So go running to the doctor. Okay, so in neglected cases, the village cases who are not able to reach hospital on time or who are probably not very aware, they will come with such problems that yes, I think my baby is still moving, but we realize that the baby is dead for the last almost 7-10 days. So that's very, very awful. And as I said, don't get scared. Nuchal cord is not an indication for cesarean. Let your doctor decide, discuss all the pros and cons, and then do whatever your doctor has planned for you and discuss with her. Okay, so guys, in case you have any more questions, I'm always there for you to answer. I try my best in my live session, I try my best to pick up the questions which are very, very important or which are very different. It's not possible to answer all the questions, but super chat is there and Talkwise app is there. So I'll be back again. I'm trying to post videos as much as possible, at least once a week or twice a week, so that you don't get bored. And take care, stay at home, be safe, and I'll be back again very soon. Thank you very much.